Welcome back to Entrepreneur Sunday on BNC. It's about time for some spring cleaning, and every once in a while, your place could use some sprucing up. Trust me, I know. Tonight, we have an interior designer who's sure to take your home from simple to elegant. Here's Haven's Hallow, Victoria Morgan. Victoria, thank you so much for joining us for Entrepreneur Sunday.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us all about Haven's Halo.
Yes, so it's an interior design firm launched in 2018, and I have a background and a master's in professional counseling. So I bring that to the forefront of my design process and ensure that the spaces genuinely reflect its inhabitants, and also that it's lovely and completely functional.
So talk a little bit about, what led you to wanting to create this type of business. I mean, there are so many businesses that, you could decide that you want to do, but this one in particular is something that you had a passion for.
Yeah, so I've always enjoyed interior design and decorating. When I was younger, didn't know that was a career choice. In my family, you have to be a doctor or a lawyer or a teacher, something that you have to get a degree for in that specific field. And so then when interior design, I actually helped a neighbor. He was a single bachelor and his home was empty. And I figured he didn't have to live that way. And so I lent him my design services, and the the interior design business just kind of spawned from there. And it's actually growing at exponential speed, and it's been wonderful.
So tell us about like some of the designs that you've created. You sent me some pictures that we're obviously showing here. What goes behind making that come to life?
Yeah, so the consultation is where we start, kind of talking about the functionality of the space. What will we be using this room for? Because just because the layout calls it a dining room, we might make that an office. We need to see what the needs are. And so after that, we dive deeply into what the client absolutely does not want. And that's how we arrive on what we do like, and kind of something that will grow with the family, because we don't want a room that's seasonal. We want it to be something that grows with the family as they grow, and remains a staple part of the home.
And I saw some beautiful designs. I mean, some of the pictures that I saw, it was even in the down to the staircase.
Oh, yeah.
I saw some of the chairs with the tables and stuff like that that you pick out. Tell us about that. Like when you're going into the mindset of, oh, I want this to look like this. How do you come up with those things?
That's a really good question. So for me, I want, without any family photos or anything, I want your friends to be able to walk into your home and say, "Oh, this looks like Brittany." I want them to be able to say, "This is if I were to put you in a room, this is what that room would look like." So essentially, I just get into their heads, get into their heads and their likes and their dislikes, and just kind of reflect that into the space.
So what has it been like for you? I mean, you started obviously, thank God, before the pandemic, but what has it been like for you doing business during the pandemic?
It's been really interesting to see the change in family or household desires. I live in Tennessee, so everyone loves an open floor plan here. However, when you're quarantined and everyone is working from home, your kids are back from school because they're homeschooled, and everyone is on a Zoom meeting, that open floor plan that was once desirable is now a little bit of a nuisance because you can hear everyone's conversation. Yeah, so changing that open layout for it to still be open, but to have designated spaces and sound barriers, that's something that I've had to work on quite a bit during the pandemic.
So business has actually kind of increased for you.
Absolutely, because once we were all forced home, business had to continue. And a lot of clients either didn't have a home office, or they had a home office that was more or less for show, not for functionality. So we changed that up. And now they have designated Zoom areas, designated classrooms, something that's really functional for the home.
That's awesome. And Victoria, are there many people who look like us who are interior designers?
I do think it's growing. I think I have found a great community on Instagram, honestly. It's been interesting because in Nashville, it hadn't felt like there was a bit of a community. I felt like the only one, or one of very few. I would say that, one of very few. But on Instagram, you get to see what people are doing all around the globe. And I would say we are picking up speed. And I think our design style, not that we're a monolith, but I think our design style of maybe tribal textures and bright colors and a little bit more layering is something that's being a little bit more well received on larger platforms like HGTV or the DIY network.
And what message would you send to other entrepreneurs who are looking to get started just like yourself?
I would say just keep going. Honestly, that's the only difference that sets me apart from anyone who hasn't started. Just don't quit. It's every situation won't be a win, but everything will be a lesson. So continue, just stick with it, be persistent, and keep going.
Did you face any challenges that you can recall over the last few years?
Oh, for sure. Clients look at shows that I mentioned, like HGTV, and assume this will be done in about 30 minutes. But COVID has also had those delays exacerbated.
Well, lastly, where can our viewers find you? I know people want to see these gorgeous designs and see if that you can help them out in any way.
I would love to. And I would also like to mention, just because I'm based in Nashville doesn't mean I can't help you. We do have virtual design services, so I can help from wherever you are.
And if you love Haven Hallow's looks, you can book services through their website at havenshallow.com or follow or check out their Instagram page at havens.hallow.